Hello and welcome back, fellow foolish mortals, to the most foolish channel on the internet. Welcome back, or welcome to your first video, whichever it is. I'm happy to see you and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I post every single Sunday and occasionally on a weekday if I feel like it. So today I'm going to just be talking about how I prepare for a Disneyland Paris trip. It's not necessarily the right way to do it because there's lots of different ways that you can go about it. This is just the way that I find works for me, and then I have my own experiences as well. Just for reference, I don't live anywhere near Disneyland Paris. I live in the UK and I don't actually live very near anything relevant in the UK either. Okay, so how I start is basically I go, ooh, Disney, and then I just have a look on the internet at Disney deals. The best place I found for Disney deals isn't necessarily the Disneyland Paris website itself, though sometimes that is the best place for Disney deals. There are lots and lots of other websites that you can have a look at that you can see right now on your screen, so there are so many that you can find and they always have deals. It's just good to shop around, and if you have flexibility in dates as well, that will alter the prices. Because I always go Eurostar when I travel to Disneyland Paris. The Eurostar goes straight to the gates of Disneyland Paris as well, so you don't have to worry about travelling from an airport to Disney itself. I just find it so much easier to get the Eurostar in general. So when I do that, I sometimes get it included in my park price along with my accommodation, or I get it separate because sometimes it's cheaper to get it separately. So it's good to have a shop around and look on each of the websites. It can take a bit of time, of course, but if you want to decide on your budget and go from there. My favourite place to stay in Disneyland Paris is Sequoia Lodge, so I will always have a look at Sequoia Lodge, just because I think it's such a good, amazing hotel. It's like all log cabin and cute, it's all like in the woods, and it's such a short walk to the Disney Village and then to the Disney Park. And I like the whole atmosphere. It's got like a little like fire place, and you can still go to the bar even if you're not staying at that hotel, and it's really sweet, it's really cozy, and I really like it. I think my favourite one to stay in that isn't that one is Hotel Santa Fe, and so that's all the Cars themed one. So it's not great, and the lighting is a little bit yellow. But it's completely fine, and if you're just looking for a budget hotel on property, then that's the one to go for. I've never stayed off park property, so I can't really recommend on that one. But on the website there's lots of different information about the different Disney hotels, so it's definitely good to have a look and see whichever one you feel is the best one for yourself. So I have a little shop around, and I always try and get some sort of dining plan now. I have gone a few times without a dining plan, but I do enjoy having a half board dining plan. I have had full board, but I think the half board works best with myself and usually the parties that I go with. I like having those quick service ones because I'm not a fancy gal, you know what I mean. I don't need to have a sit down fancy restaurant. I know it's part of the Disney experience for some people, but for myself I don't mind just picking on the different buffets. And let's be honest, Disneyland Paris has an amazing selection of different Disney buffets. They've got all sorts that can range from different character dining experiences as well, which you do have to pay additional for unless it's part of a package deal. And they also have sort of spicy food, you can have like cowboy food, you can have like American standard food, you can have French food. There's lots of different ones. My personal favourite one is Plaza Gardens. With desserts, it's got to be Billy Bob's, honestly, which is in the village. I think the only buffet quick service one that I haven't done is the Agrabah cafe, because I'm not really into that sort of food. A lot of people say they really like it, but that's not really the sort of things that I like. I have very basic taste buds, so anything with spice I can't usually cope with. But you can book in advance, which is what I would probably recommend. So I just call up and book them and just organise the time slots based on whatever it is that we will be doing in that day and whereabouts we will be. So it's quite easy to book, and they always have Disney music when you're on hold to speak to somebody. The person on the other end is French, but they're is an option, obviously for English, so they are English speakers. So what I do is I get it all together, I get the price, I tell all my friends or whoever it is that I'm going with what the price is, and then we just book, and it's really exciting. And for me in that moment I get really excited, and I get my countdown on my phone and I all do the countdown to my Disney trip days, and it's really exciting. So I also, for myself, I have to book a coach to go to London, and then from London I get the Eurostar from the St Pancras station or King's Cross station area, and then I just travel on the Eurostar. Occasionally you'll have to change in Lille, and you can get direct or you don't necessarily have to. I don't really mind changing, I'll just go for whatever the cheapest option is, honestly. For myself, I like to get to the park as early as possible and make a full day work of it, so I usually end up having to get up very early in the morning to get my first coach, because it takes 3 hours for that coach to go from where I am to to London, to Victoria Station, and then obviously you've got to factor in the tube time as well to get there, and all the time to book in and get on the Eurostar itself. I get a coach because the train is very expensive, and I wish I were rich, but I'm not. But I don't mind doing the coach, I'm kind of used to it by this point. So I don't really mind doing that, but I had an issue before where our Eurostar, when they were having works done to it in 2018, they changed our Eurostar time, so I ended up having to leave with my friends at literally midnight to get the coach, which was something, and we have to travel to the coach station as well, so that's the fun of living basically in the middle of nowhere, I suppose. But yeah, the Disney tiredness is real for everybody, but seriously, I can't sleep on public transport either. It's problematic, but what I'll do for Disney. Yeah, I'm happy going on the coach, and then in Victoria Station there is a McDonald's, so I usually have like a breakfast there and just sort of shovel that down my gob, and then we'll go on the tube to go to the St Pancras station, King's Cross station. If you do travel from there, it's good to arrive early, and because those queues vary, sometimes they're really long and sometimes you can whiz through, but on the other side while you're waiting, it's sort of like a small airport, I suppose. So you have obviously toilets and some overpriced places to have a drink. When I first went on the Eurostar, I actually genuinely thought you'd be able to see out, because it goes underneath the water, right, in a tunnel across the channel, and I thought that you would be able to see fish. So you know when you go on have you ever been to one of those aquariums where you've got that big glass thing that you walk through and you see all the fish and everything? That's how I thought it was going to be. I don't know how old I was. I think I was a lot older than I should have been to be thinking this, honestly. I think I was genuinely like 20. You don't see anything, you just go really fast through a dark tunnel, but obviously all the lights are on, so there's zero difference. It's just like being on a normal train, really. And then when I arrive at the Disney park gate, it's really, really exciting, of course, and you see it and you're like, oh my god, I'm in Disney. I think you might know that feeling. If you don't know that feeling, then I assume you've not been to Disney. So obviously then I just walk off to my hotel, because basically everything's in walking distance if you're staying on Disney park property. So they do have shuttle buses for people. I say that if you get tired walking easily, or you need disabled access, or if you're older or something like that, or disabled, yes, that's completely fine. They have those shuttle buses, that's completely fine. But for the most part, everything's in walking distance. It takes me like 20 minutes to walk from the train station to like, for instance, Santa Fe, which is it's a cheaper one, it's a bit further out, but then I'm a bit of a power walker, so maybe it takes like a normal legs around 30 to 40 minutes maybe. So we usually just get there, dump our stuff, we check in obviously, and then we just dump our stuff and leave and get to the park. And it is all really exciting, and on that first day I always try and watch the fireworks to get into that Disney spirit. But before I actually go, I do plan my outfits in advance for the most part, so I do take some spare things along with me as well, just in case, because you never know what the weather's like, because it's France, so French weather is essentially the same as British weather, I assume. So it's basically potential rain. You never know, do you? I think it's a little bit better than English weather, but it's still not the best. I always plan my outfits in advance, and I usually take additional pants and socks, because I don't know why, I always take additional pants and socks for some reason. I guess if you sit in a puddle, I don't really know. But I always take additionals, and I always take a pair of jeans and some sort of top, like a tank top, to put under things, just in case it's a bit chillier. I try and take additional pair of shoes as well, just in case it rains. And of course I take more ears than necessary. So I do take Disney Park ears. I think when I first was going, I took my outfits and that was basically it, along with whatever I had planned. When I started to become more of a regular Disney goer, I suppose, I started bringing additional things like ears and such. I recommend that you would bring something to put your pass in, because they use paper passes still at Disneyland Paris for your ticket, your room key. Well, it's not paper, it's a card now. It's like a credit card. So some people have lanyards and they put bits and pieces in there. I think when everything was paper, it was a little bit more difficult to keep a track of everything, because you had paper for everything. Same with when you go and get your fast passes, that's paper still. So I just keep it in my purse personally. And so I just get that out whenever I need to. And it is like a magnetic thing as well, so they say to keep it away from your phone, so you can actually still get into your room. So everything is on those little cards, but if you want to bring a lanyard, I can understand that that's quite a good thing to be doing. And some people love their lanyards, especially if they collect pins, because a lot of people like to put their pins that they collect over their lanyards, and I think that's quite a cool thing to do. I don't think lanyards are as popular as they used to be for Disney, now that they've sort of got one card rather than all of this different paper. So I would obviously recommend taking a pen as well, because I always take a pen everywhere with me, you never know. And if you're into your autograph books, definitely have a pen. I mean, all of the Disney shops have Disney pens and autograph books, but they're a little bit more expensive than the standard ones that you can get from like a stationery shop or something, you know, or that you might have laying around. Obviously you can plan your outfits in advance and try them on and make sure that they look as fabulous as they feel in your head, especially if you bought new clothes for your holiday, because obviously when you buy new clothes you never know how it's going to feel when you're in them and moving around. I say that I would rather look fabulous but also be comfortable. So if I'm gonna like feel fabulous but I'm gonna be pulling at my clothes and I can't cope with things and I'm sweating in it, or it doesn't feel comfortable, or it's rising up some places it shouldn't be rising up, I'm not going to be wearing that to the park. So I did actually wear a play suit to the Disney park, which was really comfortable, and I thought it looked really cute, and then it just turned out that the zip at the back I really struggled to get up and down. So when I needed to go to the bathroom I had to bring my friend in with me to like unzip me all the time, and then obviously she'd step out of the cubicle. And I had another scenario as well where I was wearing these really super cute shorts, and I was actually going to wear them on my third and also my fourth day, but on my third day when I wore them, even though they were comfy and fit me, the dye all leaked and my legs were completely black, like entirely, and even in the shower it didn't even come off properly. It took me a few days to completely get those stains out of my legs. And obviously if you're going to be going on thrill rides as well, they are rides, so feel like something that you can actually go on rides in. Also make sure you wear the comfiest shoes you possibly can. Now obviously you want to wear really cute shoes potentially, but you need those shoes to be able to walk in. There's a lot of walking that you do at Disney. Lot of walking, so I say definitely have something that you can spend the entire day in, and bring some blister plasters, seriously, and some standard plasters as well, because you never know. Obviously in hotels, Disney hotels, they provide you with things like shampoo, conditioner, those little things, what do you call them, little pop things, like little bottles. I quite like to just keep them and collect them for whatever reason, and then use them when I'm home rather than when I'm there. But like, they do have that to use while you're there, but if that's not your thing, yeah, I would still recommend, because you don't get a lot, I would recommend bringing your own or whatever you're comfortable using, as well as sun cream if you're going when it's sunny. I mean, even if you're not going when it's sunny, but like, definitely bring some sun cream with you as well, because you never know with French weather. And an umbrella on the other end of that, I'd say definitely bring an umbrella. I didn't bring an umbrella when I went in May when it was boiling hot and it was like 32 degrees, but it it rained, it full on thunderstormed, and I was, yeah, well, you can see, we were drenched. We were pouring water out of our shoes, and that's another reason why to bring some extra shoes, is because you never know. Because those are flooded. They didn't even dry, like, ever. As if for the journey, definitely bring some snacks, especially if it's going to be a longer journey for you. You can bring snacks onto the Eurostar if you do choose to use the Eurostar. What I like to do, because I am a planner at heart, and I find it really fun to plan things, because I don't know, maybe I'm strange like that. Let me know if you like to plan things. I really enjoy to plan things. I always get an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, this gets really dumb. I get an Excel spreadsheet and I make little tables. I mean, you can do this on Word or Pages or whatever. And I put my dates in. I do like the times that the shows are, because the shows can vary from season to season. So for instance, if it's the Pirates and Princesses thing, you might have your make your choice at this time, and then you might have the next show at this time, and then you have the main parade at this time, and then you have your fireworks at this time. You've got to choose sort of when you're looking to be doing things, and it does vary from actually what the website says as well, slightly. So when you do go into the Disney park, you'll see these little leaflets. So instead of just running all the way through, you can actually pick up one of the little leaflets and make sure to get one in your own language and have a look through and see what the times everything is going to be on, what the shows are, and what's going on for that day, basically. So I would obviously recommend watching the shows no matter what season you go for. They always make such a good effort for the seasons. Obviously I like going at Halloween, as we all know, but also the Pirates versus Princesses. I've been there for that one twice now, and I really enjoy it. It's really fun. And Peter Pan even complimented my ears, which I made, which I was really happy about. So thank you, Peter. So also I make sure that I will bring a cute rucksack with me. I always bring something Disney-esque. I wouldn't bring a handbag. I'm more of a rucksack gal myself anyway, regardless. But I like a nice Disney rucksack, and I just think you can get more in it. You can put your ears in there when you're about to go on a ride. Bring your bottled water. They have refillable not stations, but like water fountains that you can fill your water up at. And so obviously that's good to carry around with you, and you can bring some little snacks in with you as well. That's not a problem. And any Disney merch you want, if you're staying at a Disney hotel, they can actually bring that back to your hotel for you, unless it's your last day staying there. But I prefer to just put it in my rucksack, so I don't really buy many breakable things as I go around the park, and I usually do a big haul right at the end. Also, you can have your sun cream, your hairbrush, your lipstick, whatever you want to feel fancy, in your rucksack as well. Any chargers. So I always bring, this is a really good point, I always bring my portable charger with me. Not just my portable charger, I bring someone else's portable charger as well. Whoever's not coming on the trip with me, for instance, my boyfriend will maybe not go on a trip with me, and then he will lend me his portable charger, and I'll make sure they're both completely charged beforehand, and I'll make sure that my phone is completely charged beforehand before going into the park, and that's what I'll bring around with me. Because if you're anything like me, like I enjoy taking lots of photos and videos. I don't really go on my internet on there. They do have Wi-Fi, but I don't really find that the Wi-Fi very good, so I don't really go on it anyway. The Disney Village Wi-Fi is actually a lot better for some reason, but I don't really go on the Wi-Fi anyway in the park. I prefer to just sort of save my battery. Any sort of social media posts that I do it at the very end of the day when I'm back in my hotel room. And let me tell you, Disney tiredness is real. Usually I would wake up the earliest possible to get into the park, so I would get my breakfast, then extra magic hours, get that in, right? Get some Disney photos, or get some fast passes, or queue early for a ride, depending on what the day is and where I'm going to for that day. And then I will stay right until the end of the park day for the most times, unless there's some sort of event or some food thing that I'm going to. I would recommend as well, if you've never been to Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, doing that, and character meets as well. I would definitely book in advance if you're going to have character dining. There is an app that you can get where you can book character meets as well, but you have to be on it. I have never been able to do it, but you have to be really on it. What I would also recommend before you go, I'd say about a week before you go, is download the Disneyland Paris Park app and have a look at what the queue times are and be aware of what's open and what's not open. That way you get an idea about scheduling your entire day on your on your Excel spreadsheet, and so you know, like, oh, if you're going to go in to Crusher's Coast, you might be queuing like maybe an hour, and then you might want to go on Tower of Terror, which may take you around 40 minutes for this particular season that you're going. But then you realise that Mickey and the Magician Show that you want to go and see is at X, Y, and Z time, so you've got to sort of plan your day accordingly. I mean, you can just wing it as well, to be honest with you. For that sort of thing, I do just genuinely wing, but I know people like to plan in advance. But I would definitely recommend looking and just getting an own idea and a feel for like the queue times and whereabouts things are, because it's got the full map. There's things you can do on there as well. And booking, you know, where the facilities are on that Disney Park app. I think it's a really useful app to use. It isn't always accurate for queue times though, I will say, but it is sort of more or less. So what I found was really useful is if you go, oh, I want to go on Phantom Manor, and you might be over at Pirates of the Caribbean, okay, which is like, it's not the full other side, but it's a bit of a walk. And then, so you've just finished Pirates of the Caribbean, you say, oh, I want to go on Phantom Manor. You pull out your app, you can have a look, and if Phantom Manor is like 40 minutes, then maybe you just don't walk over there and you do something else maybe. Like I say, it's not always accurate, but it does give an idea about these queue times. I think it does take a little bit of a while to update. Also, before I go, I always sort of like to plan alongside my outfits to the season these days. So when I was going for Halloween, I got a lot of Halloween-y outfits ready. I had a Jack Skellington outfit ready because I had hoped that I was going to meet Jack Skellington, which I did, and I wore it on the day that we did meet Jack Skellington. So if you have a particular character that you want to meet on a certain day, then I think it's quite cute sometimes to match your outfit with that, but obviously that's not a necessity, and that's just something that I enjoy to do. You don't have to bring your own towel with you if you are staying at a Disneyland Paris hotel, but I know some people do choose to. I would recommend, however, if you're going to wash your hair while you're over there, to bring your own hairdryer, because I found that their hairdryers aren't the best. Obviously, it will depend how you're travelling, whether you can get certain things through when it comes to things like razors and sharper objects. When you do arrive at Disney hotels, there is particular entrances you would go through, and you'll get randomly scanned down, and your bags will go through like an airport security conveyor belt, and they will see that everything's completely fine, or they may question you. And when you come out of that area for the hotels and you're going into the village, there is a security thing that you need to go through for that as well. So if you go for a certain time, sometimes then you can avoid the queue, because those queues can get quite long, but they do move along quite quickly. You can also queue a little while before getting into the actual Disneyland Paris park itself. What I would say is definitely have your pass ready to go when you go through there. There's usually somebody checking it, but those queues can get pretty long. If you want to get there for extra magic hours, try and time it right, because if you leave with everybody else, then you can end up in queues for a while. Let me know how you plan for a Disney trip. Thank you so much for watching. Have a magical day. Bye!